I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon and welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. UPND members suspect the KABWATA lawmaker has been assassinated. Ballistic expert accused of killing NSAMA CHIPYOKA unaware of the bullet used. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the...
She has so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. The Patriotic Front Party has directed all party members eyeing for the party's presidential seat to suspend all forms of campaigns until the date for the General Conference is set. PF Information and Publicity Chairperson Raphael Nakachinda has warned that disciplinary action will be taken against party members who will fail to comply with the directive. Mr. Nakachinda says party members should instead focus on dealing with issues that made the party lose the general elections, such as arrogance, cadreism, and hooliganism, among other things. And Mr. Nakachinda says the fact that President Hakainde Hichilema has borrowed huge sums of money to develop 3 provinces perceived to be the UPND strongholds is an indication that he is a tribalist who wants to divide the country.
As the wrangles in the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front deepens, with some party members openly expressing interest in taking over the party leadership at its highest level. Some members of the Central Committee are desperate to save the party and see to it that it becomes the first political party to bounce back into power after losing the general elections. PF Information and Publicity Chairperson Raphael Nakachinda has urged party members aspiring to lead the party. He has since warned all party members campaigning for the presidential seat to stop, but instead focus on rebuilding the party.
We have the best insults and insulters, if there is such a word, within ourselves, other than providing checks and balances towards or against the ruling party. We have not rebooted or readjusted ourselves to nourish what the people really want. We must avoid washing dirty linen in public and exchanging sensitive information in the media and on social media.
Mr. Nakachinda has acknowledged that the PF ruling party was arrogant, hooliganistic, insolence, entertained cadreism, and indiscipline, among other things.
The members must take heed of Central Committee's directive to introspect and reflect and get rid of the things that made us lose power, such as hooliganism, cadreism, arrogance, insolence, indiscipline, among others. Failure to heed, we are creating a recipe for chaos and anarchy within the party.
On the other hand, Mr. Nakachinda has accused President Hichilema of being tribal in his appointments and the fact that he has borrowed huge sums of money to develop perceived UPND strongholds.
Continued to peddle tribal and regional politics. Even their budget is regional in nature. The Minister of Finance went to borrow millions of dollars and came confident on the floor of the House to come and tell us this money we have borrowed, we're going to develop Southern, Western, and Northwestern province. What a shame. How can you have everything tilted towards achieving regional politics?
The question that one perhaps may ask is, will the Patriotic Front Party ever bounce back into power? Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, United Party for National Development Alliance Media Director Tabo Kawana says the Patriotic Front should be the last party to call President Hakainde Hichilema a tribalist. Reacting to the sentiments made by PF Information and Publicity Chairperson Rafael Nakachinda, Mr. Kawana says the revelation by the Minister of Local Government, Gary Nkombo, to Parliament Wednesday that Southern, Western and Northwestern Province have received less road infrastructure is a clear indication that the Patriotic Front was a tribal party. He says the PF should stop politics of finger-pointing but offer credible checks and balances which are evidence-based.
Our colleagues in the opposition, especially the Patriotic Front, that this government has not borrowed money to develop Northwestern, Southern and Western Province. What the Minister of Finance stated and did so very clearly was that he got some money. He borrowed some money to build schools in Northwestern, in Western and Southern. And these are areas that were neglected by the PF government, and that is why in an effort to bring equity and pulling the nation together, they needed to ensure that they also build schools in these areas. He also talks about the president's appointment and claiming that the appointments are tribal. We want to say to them that the PF, really, you don't expect anything from them apart from tribal sentiments, because that is all they see. All they see are tribal appointments. But the question we must ask ourselves as a nation is, why does PF see only tribal issues in everything? That is because they were a tribal cocoon. They were a political party that spent time making appointments on tribal lines. And therefore, they feel that everything else this new dawn government is doing is equally tribal, as they did. We want to educate them that this is not tribal.
KABWATA constituency member of parliament Levi Mukandawire has died following a fatal road traffic accident which occurred on the 18th of November 2021 at 12:45 hours at his residence along Chalata Road, Woodlands Extension. Police say involved was a Toyota IST registration number which was driven by Mr. Levi Mukandawire, member of parliament for KABWATA constituency, aged 60, who sustained head injuries, fractured right leg and died on the way to the university teaching hospital. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says also involved was a BMW X5 registration number ALM 5955 which had its front part extensively damaged while it's being driven by Jen Mwale, age 39, of plot number 32 Chalata Road, Woodlands Extension, who sustained unknown injuries. On board of the same vehicle was the husband to the driver M. Kalengo Jata Alik, aged 57, who complained of a headache whilst the driver was not found at the scene when officers visited it. But UPND members suspect that it could have been an assassination.
The death of United Party for National Development Member of Parliament Levi Mukandawire has left many people shocked. Mr. Mukandawire was first alleged to have died by unknown people on social media, and it was widely shared, but it was later verified to be misinformation whose motive remains a mystery.
There is a fake news that has circulated on social media. I want to confirm and affirm that Levi Mukandawire is alive.
Thursday afternoon, the country was treated to a sad news of his death in a fatal road traffic accident which occurred on the 18th of November 2021 at 12:45 hours at his residency along Chalata Road, Woodlands Extension. Zambia Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga confirmed the incident.
On board of the same motor vehicle was the husband to the driver, Mayor Kalengo Jeta Alik, who complained of a headache whilst the driver was not found at the scene when officers visited it. The accident occurred when the second vehicle, a BMW, which was approaching from east towards west, was moving at an excessive speed, and in the process, the driver lost control of the vehicle before hitting into a stationary Toyota IST, whose driver had disembarked with a view of opening the gate. Due to the impact, it was forced to move forward, thereby squeezing the deceased against the wall fence, and the wall pillar of the fence fell on him. Investigations to establish the whereabouts of the driver have been instituted.
Parliament proceedings commenced with a moment of silence for the late lawmaker.
Honorable members, I will convey on your behalf the condolences of the House to to the bereaved family in due course. May I now request the House to rise and observe a minute of silence in honor of the late honorable member.
We spoke to party members in KABWATA constituency.
It came from this side and literally aimed at the MP. When we checked the body after taking it to UTH mortuary, literally the head is crushed, the chest is crushed, and the right leg is literally in pieces.
But other UPND members believe it could have been an assassination.
It meant that he should not survive. I don't want to believe that it was a mere accident, because what speed was the person? Well, he says the brakes failed. Why coincidentally should the brakes fail when Honorable Sandawira was opening the gate? No, I don't want to believe that, and I want the police to go to the bottom of this thing. If these policemen still belong to the PF, let them treat that man with kid gloves. But otherwise, no. I appeal to the police command. Let them take this matter very seriously. We are not safe. Our MPs are not safe.
But that is nothing but speculation as police continue to investigate the matter. Politically, this means that Zambia will be treated to a by-election in a constituency which was tightly contested by big spenders during the August 12 general election. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
In other news, a ballistic expert, Daniel Banda, has told the Lusaka High Court that he is not very certain that the bullet which allegedly killed State Prosecutor NSAMA CHIPYOKA is the same one that hit UPND sympathizer Joseph Kaunda. This is in a case in which Constable Fanuel Nyundu is facing 2 counts of murder for allegedly shooting Date and National Prosecutions Authority prosecutor CHIPYOKA and UPND sympathizer Kaunda last year in December. When the matter came up for cross-examination before Justice Joshua Banda, defense lawyer Willis Mohanga asked Mr. Banda if he was doubtful that the same bullet which shot Mr. NSAMA is the same one which hit Mr. Kaunda. Mr. Banda, who is also an assistant superintendent, had previously told the court in his examination in chief that a single bullet is alleged to have killed both victims.
On the 10th of November 2021, a half-packed court had chilling testimony from a ballistic expert, Daniel Banda, that a single bullet killed the State Prosecutor NSAMA CHIPYOKA and the UPND sympathizer Joseph Kaunda on the 23rd of December 2021. During the opening of trial, Mr. Banda, who is also an assistant superintendent at Police Force Headquarters in the Forensic Department, said that according to his investigations, the bullet that existed Mr. CHIPYOKA was the same one that entered Mr. Kaunda and killed him as well. He had further testified that he was convinced that the exhibit of the gun before court was discharged from the gun bearing serial number EN2650 and that both the victims sustained wounds which were in both shape and the wounds were open wounds. This is in a matter in which Fanuel Nyundu, a police constable, is facing 2 counts of murder. Nyundu is alleged to have shot dead Mr. CHIPYOKA, a state prosecutor, and Mr. Kaunda, UPND sympathizer, near the Cabinet office on the 23rd of December 2020, when President Hakainde Hichilema, then UPND leader, had appeared before the police headquarters for questioning over a land in Kalomo in Southern Province. The 2 were killed in the process when police officers were trying to dispense sympathizers who had gone to offer their solidarity to President Hakainde Hichilema. However, when the matter resumed for cross-examination Thursday morning, the defense lawyer questioned Mr. Banda if he was doubtful that the same bullet which shot Mr. CHIPYOKA is the same one which hit Mr. Kaunda. The witness responded in affirmative. And when questioned if he knew the speed at which the bullet entered Mr. CHIPYOKA, the witness said no. Hearing of the case continues before the Lusaka High Court. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The news item brings us to the end of the Camnet TV media news, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. UPND members suspect the KABWATA lawmaker has been assassinated. Ballistic expert accused of killing NSAMA CHIPYOKA unaware of the bullet used. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Midday. Good afternoon and pleasant viewing.